And we're live. Welcome, everyone. This is Bashar Jowdi with the Marketing Shtick, our PML exclusive show where you hear us banter about marketing-related stuff. I'm here today with Joe Norton. What's up, Joe?
Heyo.
And Thomas Sands Jr. the third.
What's up, guys?
I was talking to someone yesterday. She said, I'm so glad that the junior thing is fading away in American society. It's so confusing. And apparently the lady was describing how her brother and dad share a name, and their credit report got crossed over because of similarities of their names. And it was like a big fiasco for the family. But yeah, imagine your dad taking on some debt under your name.
I could see it happen.
You're ready to go buy your first car.
I've been fortunate. I don't think we've run into that at all, but
okay.
I could see that for sure. Yeah.
Didn't George Foreman have like all of his kids
All
named
his sons
George?
named
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you get your legacy, right? Like I was always very concerned about my legacy, and having several offsprings with your name is like guaranteed redundancy.
Yeah, pretty much.
One of them turns out to be not so successful that you have better odds with the rest. That's funny. So we're here November 29th. We're on the heels of, or the tail end of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and all its renewals, right? Almost all the retailers, like we're extending our Cyber Week specials. Have you guys experienced anything like that?
Yeah, I certainly keep seeing things coming through, and it doesn't seem to have ended on Monday. That's for sure.
Yeah,
my inbox was full every day this week. Even this morning.
Yeah,
And
go ahead.
You know what I saw also was, so my birthday was mid-month, right? So right around the middle of the month, and I saw the sales start even then, right?
Yeah.
They were getting ready a week early for
pre-holiday.
Yeah, for Black Friday, and then now after Cyber Monday, we're seeing the sales continue.
Yeah.
So it's just like this continuous sales period.
But it's getting diluted, right? Because they call it Black Friday pricing or Cyber Monday pricing pre-Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So it's getting watered down, right? People used to camp out, wait, it was down to the hour. Then they were like, you can get them the night before, and then now you can get them a few days before. It's getting diluted, really, right? And from a marketing perspective, I wondered, like I saw these emails come in, oh, we're expanding Cyber Monday and, still available, the pricing extended again, right, Tommy, you were saying. So what does that say about you as a brand and as a strategic marketing team, right? I don't know. I mean, what is your impression when you see an email saying, oh, we expanded our sale or extended the hours?
I have a few different perspectives. I like the idea of leading up to it. And part of me wonders, if it's just one guy trying to say, well, I'll start getting the sales on Tuesday. I'll take the revenue on Tuesday. I don't need to wait till Thursday or Friday or Monday, right? And then they just keep going back to Joe's birthday in the middle of the month, right? But after the fact, and I think during planning, I feel like this is where this would come up for me, is maybe there's an opportunity to segment things, because it feels a little cheap to me. Not cheap, but it feels like leftovers,
Sleazy.
like
Sleazy.
there's more turkey left, right?
Yeah, like I get them wanting to keep the sense of urgency. Like I understand that that's a critical part to creating like the sales kind of pressure kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, it just comes across as like disingenuous, and it starts, I think, to affect the brand and kind of, the truthiness of how you see the words coming out of a company,
Right.
when they're saying these are limited time sales and then they're still there for a month and a half,
Right.
kind of thing.
It's an unlimited sale, not a limited sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Were there any good deals? Did any of you buy anything this Cyber Monday or Black Friday?
I saw some good deals, like I always do at Costco.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they've kept going. They're rolling into December. I don't know. It was on technology. Got a new phone. It's just a really great time for that kind of thing.
Oh, did you end up getting the Google phone?
Not the Google phone. I ended up going with a Moto 6 because I previously had a Moto, but it was super cheap because of this deal, and it's crazy.
Couldn't beat it.
I know Google. I've had a lot of the Google phones and stuff, and they were pumping hard on their store, and the cyber deals were available. I think I posted it even in our Slack channel.
Oh, you're the one that posted that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. They were there a couple of days early and deep, discounts
Yeah.
on the phones and stuff. Yeah, the technology was big, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, even sales in general were big. So they're forecasting. We were looking at this Forbes article before the show started, and Forbes is expecting, or they're forecasting, between 4.3 to 4.8% increase year over year for this holiday season.
So
However,
that's all encompassing, right? Like,
yeah, through after Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Joe, I think you're bringing this up as far as the concentration of the sales, because they are reporting much larger increases in between Thanksgiving and the week of Cyber Monday, right?
Yeah, so this was really interesting to me. So the numbers, like you just said, so for the whole season, we're expecting like 4 to 5% growth. But if we're looking just at Thanksgiving Day, we saw 28% year over year. If we're looking just at Black Friday, we're seeing 23.6% year over year. So like that's like 4 to 5 times what we're seeing during the whole period. So that tells me the sales are like, they're kind of clumpy, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing concentrations of these sales to particular days. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is due to the internet and kind of the virality of some of these sales. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting. The other interesting piece too is Forbes. That same article on Forbes, they reported 1.7% decline for brick and mortar locations, while they are reporting an increase year over year of the entire holiday season. So that tells you bigger and bigger sales are happening online, and the retailers are atrophying slowly.
Yeah, and these are trends we've seen, right? I think if we looked at a long-term chart, it would look like cheese, right? Facing the good way, right?
Right.
We've seen this growth, and I think even outside of retail and outside of the season, a lot of these trends, mobile heavy, right, which is another area that was pretty interesting. We saw some info on. The online trend. People are continually becoming more comfortable with shopping online.
Yeah.
We've been talking about mobile for 5 years or
5 years
more,
now,
right? The importance of it, and the major online retailers have certainly recognized it. I've been to summits at Google where they use Amazon as the example of how to create a really strong, easy to use, trustworthy mobile experience. And I think it's certainly evident in the volume of online shopping, the moving away from the brick and mortar. And one last thing I'll say about that is I think even close to me, a lot of my family and my mom and her sisters and my siblings, and I think a lot of them really enjoyed shopping for a long time, and they're doing it from their couch.
Yeah. But I think this is the biggest win, because, and I keep referring to this Forbes article because it was chock full of information and data, and we feed on data here at PML. But they reported that the 35 to 44 age bracket, which is, a nudge over millennials, outspent millennials in this holiday season. And they outspent them on digital, right? On mobile. So that's really awesome, because it really shows. We oftentimes sit with clients and they're like, oh, my target audience is the older demographic, 35 plus, older. And I
not online.
They assume mobile is much more millennial centric and that kind of thing. And that's not what the data is showing. And this is financial and sales data. So it's definitely trustworthy. We're not talking about visits and engagement on a website here. We're talking about purchases. So it's really interesting. And it's a win for our demographic too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So on that point, so in that same article, they have a Salesforce quote where they're saying the company predicts that mobile devices will account for 68% of traffic and 46% of orders over the entire holiday season.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually less than what we report for our clients on. I mean, we've seen it at some of our clients where it's close to 70 and 80% mobile. So, but
traffic coming in.
Of traffic, yeah. But to see that on the sales figures, that's still significant, because there is an argument that you do the research on your mobile and you go back to your desktop and purchase, because you got more real estate, you can do a little bit deeper research. So it's always been like preliminary on mobile, then you go to desktop to transact. But it's now it's shifting more in that direction, which is great. Listen, I love mobile. Let me tell you, mobile is the reason we're moving back into simplicity and intent, right? In design, and I'm talking about web development and web design. When the majority and the bulk of the traffic was coming to desktop devices, we got into, like, think about when Flash had its heyday, and all like the animation and the convoluted web experiences, and we were making things more complex to make them more user friendly, right? And we could do that because people were working with large real estate on their monitors and faster technology on desktop and all that. And now we're being forced to trim back, go back to simplicity, keep it simple, build me a website. And Albert Einstein said, anybody can make things more complex and heavier, what I'm paraphrasing, but it takes a touch of genius to move in the opposite direction. And I think now the ecosystem is pushing us. Speed is king, right? One of the main factors for mobile ranking. User experience, rendering, we're talking above the fold, below the fold on a 5.5-inch screen. So it's a challenge to marketers, like, cut the fat, guys, give us the core message here and move on. Like, we don't need the fluff pieces, the long squeeze pages. You remember the sleazy sales pieces online? So I'm happy we're moving in that direction.
I think it's also challenging designers too, because now we don't have just one website design. We have like 3 or 4 different versions, really, depending on what screen size you're looking at the website on. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it, but you're right. It's kind of like moving towards minimalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. It saves bandwidth. There are, not everybody lives in America and third world countries when they're still running on 2G and 3G. They can't load massive websites.
I mean, this is a big reason for AMP and that kind of stuff.
And people don't wait either.
Yeah.
How often you go to a website on your phone and you see something spinning, you stick around for it to load.
Yeah.
Oh, I assume my internet's out. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I do the inspection, the self-diagnosis on my Google Wi-Fi. Like, what the heck is going on? It took 6 seconds to load this page. Yeah. But yeah, no, and that's the case, and it's good, right? It's less noise. It's a filtered message. You mentioned AMP. Pages that load in AMP load without a lot of the fluff, right? And that's why advertisers don't like AMP, because a lot of the conversion optimization and the user experience that you build in a page that you control, Google is stripping that when they run it through AMP. And not to mention that they're trying to take the visitor to their ecosystem and that kind of thing. Yeah, so we're not big fans of that as advertisers, but it's
there's a reason they're doing it.
There's a reason for it. Yeah, exactly. So so speaking about people privacy and moving things into different ecosystems, I bought a deal on 2 of the Facebook portals. This is the device, the home device that Facebook came up with, so they can get eyes and ears in people's homes. Well, that's not really what they did. I'm joking. But it's a communication device, and it was announced like the day after Facebook had this big privacy controversy and stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering why I didn't hear about the announcement.
Right. Yeah, it got really it got a lot. It garnered a lot of criticism, but
I can imagine that's a difficult road for them to go down at this time in their their path. Yeah. How is it though? Is it cool?
You know what? The technology is great, and we engage on video chats. That's our currency, right? At PML, we're on video chats. 5 out of the 8 hours of business hours a day. But it's really cool, and I was thinking to myself, how can we leverage this for business? Because first of all, I got the 15-inch, 15 and a quarter inch screen or whatever, and it turns, so you're gonna have it landscape or portrait. The audio quality is impeccable. And the cool thing about it is the camera is HD, and while it doesn't physically move, you are always in frame. So I could duck down and crawl on the floor with my daughter, and the camera will actually get me in a frame and crops it out and zooms in. Or if you stand up tall, it will zoom out to capture your entire standing. And it's intelligent, like it's intuitive in the way it captures you. And the microphone also zooms in. So I could be walking away from the camera, from the device, and my audio, it does not feel like you're walking away from a microphone. And there's cool things.
Adjust levels on the fly to keep like strong communication coming through.
It does. And you can do up to 8 people on it. And I got it because my brother has a baby too. So we wanted Sophia and her cousin to interact. And it's really cool. There's a story mode you click on, and it's like the 3 little piglets. And it includes you in the story. So it takes your face and puts it on the piglets, and you read the story, and it changes as you read. So it's cool. Like for people with kids, it's totally worth it. Like think about it this way: you're traveling for work and you can't be home. I can dial in with my phone and read Sophia a story, and she'll see me and hear me and see the story, and it's super cool. I'm sold into it. But they send it with a clip, so you can do a clip and it covers the lens, and there's a button.
Oh yeah.
So, and I didn't point it at our bed either. So
as you know, my family's pretty spread out, right? So on holidays and stuff, when we get together, like on Thanksgiving, we huddle around a webcam to Skype. And it's honestly, it's a little bit challenging.
Yeah. Because
you have, it's maybe like a notebook. We've done it lots of different ways, right? But you basically have like somebody's MacBook or something is on a table,
right?
Coffee table, and you got people leaning around the couch, in the background trying to wave in. And you were talking about, having the camera and the audio and stuff be flexible and almost like responsive in a sense.
Yeah.
So you could adjust for that, and it feels like that would have probably provided kind of a cleaner experience.
Oh yeah,
right. When you're trying to,
they're selling message. They're reason to believe. Yeah. If you can't be there, feel there.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Do you remember this? This product came out a couple years back. It was like supposed to be for businesses for conferencing. And it would be like if you're the remote worker and everyone else is working in the office, then it's like a Segway with an iPad strapped onto
you're talking about the robot dude
that goes around. Yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of.
If I owned like a factory and there was a big factory floor, I can totally see myself like with my face on, and it rolls around from station to station, like, work harder.
What are you doing? Yeah,
stop slacking. Get off your phone.
Get a personal call. Yeah.
Hold it up to the camera.
So I'm getting a vision now of one of the Back to the Future movies, right? Yeah. Where like they were watching through the screens, and the guy jumped in. He's like, "You're fired."
You're fired.
Oh, really? Did they have a scene like that?
Yeah,
that's funny. But I do like their message. If you can't be there, feel there. That's so smart. I feel like the messaging there and the just the tone, the whole thing about it, it's so tight. It touches an emotional string. It also highlights the value proposition of the technology. For as far as taglines go, I really like this. They packed so much meaning into it, and it's both emotional and application based as well.
What's interesting to me is that it's Facebook that's the one that's bringing this to market. Yeah. It's like almost like if it was any other company, I would kind of like it a little bit more.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's unfortunate. Yeah,
it is.
it just feels like a little bit like
it sounds like a good product though.
It seems like it. So I got one for my brother that I'm going to send to him for Christmas. So we'll because so far I've called people out from it, and they're always very impressed with what they're seeing. I have not seen it device to device.
Two-way.
Because that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So do you just like sign in? So are there other sort of uses for it? I mean, is it like sit at your table and then it's a clock? Or I mean, like.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad you asked. And that was the one thing that I was really surprised by, and not in a positive way. I thought it was battery powered. Like you plug it in and it charges, and then you can move it. Like, because I'm not gonna always like I have it. I have a kitchen island and like a glass countertop bar, and I have it sitting there, but I have to be standing up in front of it to use it. And it's corded. It has to be plugged in. It does not have a battery, so you have to put it in a permanent spot. And it's pretty bulky to move it around. And I'm not going to put it in the middle of my living room so I can sit on the couch and talk. But, you know, leveraging the technology of zoom in and zoom out, you could arguably put it in a corner of a room and then step away from it.
Yeah.
But it's corded, so that's one. And then it doesn't twist. Like if I had time to bring another product to market, I would totally develop a dish that it sits on that has like rollers in it, so you can easily
Lazy
almost like a bull bear. It's Lazy Susan, I like it. Yeah, so I would because that it would benefit from that because it doesn't have that. But you could watch YouTube on it, right? Which is a nice
share
size.
the experience. Like,
No, you can share Spotify. You can listen to a song together.
okay.
But if you're not dialed out, you can watch your own YouTube on it.
Okay.
It's powered by Alexa, so there's some kind of backroom deal between Amazon and them because it answers
real?
to my Alexa. Yeah.
Wow.
But here's the kicker: it's got the Facebook assistant as well, so you can say Portal dial Joe Norton or call Joe Norton, and it will pick up on that. But you can also say, Alexa, what time is it, or what's my horoscope, whatever, and it will answer you as well.
Wow.
So it's dual. But yeah, go
Are
ahead.
they going to offer more other smart?
Alexa, stop.
Are there plans, or they have opportunities to sync up with like a Google Home setup?
Sorry, Alexa won't shut up now. I'm muting her. Best practice: mute her before you start a video show. What did you ask, Tommy?
Is there any word on any like Google Home, Google Smart integration? Could it fit into that kind of program? Can you fit it into your smart home setup, or
as far as the Amazon products, you can through the platform, the Alexa platform, but there isn't any Google integration. As a matter of fact, I was very surprised to see YouTube on there. I expected that YouTube would not be on there, but it is so limited. Like it's such a large and capable screen and a device that you would expect it to do a tablet function, right? Like anything a tablet can, web browsing, the whole thing. It does not do that. It does YouTube. It does Newsly, which is like the news video platform.
Okay.
You can look to see who's available from your Facebook feed, but you cannot browse your Facebook feed. Like I can't see what people are doing.
Just messenger kind of thing?
You can't type messages either. It's just audio calls. Okay. It's very limited. It runs Spotify, so you can listen to music on it and that kind of thing. But it feels to me that they have a store in there. They have an app area, and the app area has like 10 apps in it. But it feels to me that this is an untapped potential of the platform. They need to have a lot more stuff in there.
They're going to offer it open source if there's an app store?
No, knowing Facebook.
Not open source, but I mean like...
Yeah. People can submit
an API or whatever.
An API, yeah. Who knows? There is very little talk about it, and I know marketers and advertisers are looking to see how can it be targeted. Facebook came out and said that user behavior will be available, like you will be able to run ads and target it with ads, but it's very undercover as far as what you really can and can't do. I mean, as a matter of fact, there's a USB-C port in the back of it, and I was trying to research what the heck it does. What can I plug into it? And like, there's almost no information on it. Yeah. As far as product launches, besides the TV campaign and the messaging, I feel like they could maximize its appeal by having more integrations and more apps.
It's just like a vestigial USB. It's a remnant of evolution.
Right. It's an appendix. You can ship it to Facebook for an appendectomy. That's funny. But, you know, I look forward to seeing how we can leverage it more, given that it's a lot of families that are going to be using it. I think from a targeting perspective, like I think some of our clients that target families, I think it's a really good platform.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, when you set up a Facebook ad, right, you can target it at mobile devices only, desktop devices only, in stream, in the marketplace, whatever. I bet soon it's going to be portal here as another area you can target.
Well, we just started getting some new data on they're calling it, TV screens essentially.
Yeah,
they're starting to segment out. It's not, historically most device dialogue that we've had is, generally speaking, mobile, desktop, tablet, right? Those have been, and we're starting to get some additional data and insights already on TV screens. And so that can take a lot of permutations, right?
This isn't Google Ads, right?
Yeah, for YouTube specific campaigns.
Gotcha.
Right? So this is YouTube running on TVs, and I mean, there's still lots of details we're not sure of. Is it, a Chromecast kind of thing, right?
Is it a casting situation?
Is it casting?
Or
is it
smart
a smart
TV?
Or, right? Like,
yeah.
But we're moving in that direction, to your point, and that could fall into it, right? It's a non-tablet.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
Right? Where does it fall?
Yeah, because tablet implies that you can carry it with your hand and walk about with it. This thing is the size of a tablet.
Without the capabilities.
Without the capability of that, it's almost more of a small TV. I mean, it's closer to that because it's pretty heavy. You can't just walk around with it.
I mean, you said 14 or 15 monitor. That's
15,
like
15 and something.
That's 50. Like the laptop I'm looking at.
Oh yeah.
So here's a maybe there's some success here, and instead of building bigger portals, they put cameras on TVs.
Yeah. A Facebook TV. Christmas 2019. Stay tuned.
You heard it here first. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. I mean, there are smart TVs. You're already doing.
Yeah.
You think people wouldn't sit in front of the TV and browse Facebook and then,
No, but I get to tell you, if there was a good platform that ran Google Hangouts on a TV, I would totally put a big TV in my office and a camera on top of it. But
Absolutely.
There isn't, because it would be so much more efficient, because you can run your sharing and then you can still have a battle station that you can man. Yeah. So it's, but yeah, that would be cool. That could be an argument for PML to buy everybody 90-inch TVs and stand them up so we can have like telepresence.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing the cyber deals don't end until December 24th.
Great. Every team member is going to email me like, where do I submit my expense report for my 90-inch TV? Awesome. Well, anyway, we're up against our time here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Episode 14 of the Marketing Shtick. And don't forget to subscribe so you can join us on future episodes. Thank you, everyone.
Good talking to you.
See you guys.